One thing nobody probably told you, but I'm going to tell you, do not get a tattoo. If you are in your teens, late teens, early 20s, whatever, do not get a tattoo. Like, literally, you will regret it. Like, there's no reason to get a tattoo. You're literally missing out on nothing. Like, trust me, as a person in their 30s and who has several tattoos, do not get any. Like, literally, you will regret it. And you're missing out on nothing. Like, you do not need to ink your body up for no reason. Like, there's literally no reason. Like, I promise you, there's no reason. And I wish somebody would have told me this, but nobody did. So, if I would have made it to 25 without any tattoos, I would have never gotten any. However, all of my tattoos I got were before I was 24 years old. And after that, I literally wished I had none. Like, I realized what a horrible mistake it was. So, if you don't have any, do not join the club.
Alright, you guys, so I seen this video down my timeline and I wanted to talk about it because obviously you can see that I'm like heavily tattooed. And I'm looking at this girl and like, no offense to her, she barely has tattoos. But one of the other videos that she stitched, she put tattoos are ghetto. You are entitled to have an opinion about tattoos, about ink, about whatever. If I'm going to sit here and have a big mouth about all these different opinions, anybody else could. It's called freedom of speech and I don't get offended. I just want to talk about this topic. There's two types of people in this world. There are people that do things when they're younger because they don't want these things. They're doing it because of a trend. They're doing it because of trauma. They're doing it because it's cool. They're doing it because everybody else is doing it, whatever the case may be. Then there's people who destined to look a certain way. Then there's people who grew up in certain lifestyles. Then there's people who actually like that type of stuff. A lot of you women and men, it's mainly women though. Don't really see men doing this stuff. A lot of women do things in life when they're younger and they don't pay attention to the actions that they take and then later want to regret it. Like you guys sleep around a lot. Then all of a sudden when you have 60 bodies, you want to go and cry and be like, oh my gosh, all this caught up to me. I'm a single mom of 60 kids. Yep, that's on you. Or, you guys will get all these tattoos and then go, oh, I hate myself. I shouldn't have got it when I was doing this and that. Well, this is why you should think. When I was younger, I knew what I wanted to look like by the time I was 30. I'm going to be 30 in January. I always wanted to have cheek piercings. I always wanted to have tattoos from head to toe. I always wanted to look like a pinup girl, alternative, kind of like chola, gangster, feminine, but still have that dark vibe to go with. That was always my style. That was always the thing that I liked. And I also grew up in LA. So I grew up around a lot of women who look like this. So when I seen beauty and I seen, oh my goodness, the women I look up to, they're tatted and blasted and either cholas or black women. I always wanted that. I think a lot of you women don't want these things and you don't even know it at the time. You're just doing it because it's cool. You're doing it because everybody else does it. And like I said, your heart was never set on that. And that's nobody else's fault but yours. My recommendation for any man or any woman who's trying to get tattoos, before you figure out what you want to do in life, maybe you should stick to getting tattoos from the neck down. Don't touch your hands. Don't touch your neck. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your hands. You could do your whole back. You could do your legs. You could do your chest. Nobody's going to see that. Do anything that you can cover up. Make sense? And then figure out what you want to do. I didn't start getting face tattoos and hand tattoos, I think, two or 3 years ago. And I'm 29 right now. So I didn't get them until my later 20s. I wasn't getting them when I was 19 years old. Was I always tattooed heavily? My chest, of course, all that good stuff. But I barely started getting all this extensive stuff because now I own my own stuff. Now I do social media and I make a living off of this stuff. So me personally, I've never had a problem getting jobs. Any job I've ever walked into, I will always go there looking exactly how I look right now and they hire me on the spot. I've worked in office jobs. I've worked as a bartender. I've done warehouse. I've been a server. I've been a busser. I've worked at 5-star restaurants. I don't understand why people have this fallacy and this mindset that tattoos aren't as accepted. In certain areas, do you have to cover some stuff up? Of course, because it looks more professional. But does that stop you from getting the job? No. What's wrong with people is they go to jobs nowadays and go to places nowadays and like say they have a really offensive tattoo on their face or really crazy tattoo. Instead of covering it, going to the job and then telling the job, hey, you know what? I do have tattoos. I did cover them. Is it okay if I'm able to, have them exposed? Or if it bothers you, I don't mind covering it up because I do want this job. They will hire you. How do I know? I'm a product of that. I've never had a job be like, that tattoo right there. But I also don't have offensive tattoos. All of these things have meaning, and all of these things, like, I don't have nothing crazy on me. It's all regular stuff. Girls all over tattooed on me, roses, flowers, stars. I mean, there's nothing offensive. So I don't know, y'all. Me personally, I feel like a lot of people make harsh and rash decisions, especially when they're younger. And I'm not sitting here blaming y'all, because we all do things when we're young. We're not fully developed. We think we think we know what we want at the time. But like I'm saying now, if you're a young viewer watching this, take your time with tattoos. Also, another thing, I feel like a lot of people get tattoos too soon, and then you guys get really crappy tattoos and then regret it later. I don't regret not one fucking tattoo on my body. And you know what's one thing I'm stopping myself from right now? I want to get this side of my face tatted. Don't know why, I just want it. And a lot of people, don't do it, but you feel that way. I don't look at myself and go, what the fuck did I do? Ew. I want more. If anything, I should have done this faster. I want my back done. I want my legs done. I just want to keep this whole side blank though. So guys, make sure that whatever you do in life, you do it with intention. Make sure whatever you do in life, you actually sit and ponder on this before you make harsh decisions. These are permanent, and I guarantee you, laser is double the price, and laser hurts 6 times as more than an actual tattoo. Make sure the tattoos you are getting on your body are from a quality tattoo artist. Make sure it's a tattoo that you're not going to get sick of, and make sure it's something you actually want. It is simple. Don't go getting stuff on your face, your hands, your neck, and places that, people might see where you might get offended, okay? And another thing too, be very mindful of what tattoos you get, because it does give off a certain aesthetic. It can make you look like a gangster. It can make you look, like you've been in prison, like you smoke cigarettes, even though you don't. But that's how people perceive it. This woman made a whole video talking about tattoos, and then after saying that they were ghetto. That's how people are, y'all. They see things and they think everything's ghetto. Tattoos are not ghetto. You know what's ghetto? The person. Yeah, I hate when people use that term. How are tattoos ghetto? I've seen women that have, business licenses. I've seen women that have went to school that are fully tattooed, and how are they ghetto? I've seen women that are mothers and have tattoos. How is that ghetto? You're ghetto because of the way that you act. You're not, the tattoos have nothing to do with you being ghetto. I'm sorry. Now, if you're getting trashy tattoos of nasty stuff all over your body, I've seen girls with dicks on their body. I've seen girls that, like the girl had come in here, stuff like that. That's ghetto. You know what I mean? But I don't think people with tattoos are necessarily ghetto. I think it's you being the person that you are that makes you ghetto. But that's my opinion. She's entitled to hers. Just be careful, y'all, because you're always going to have these grandma Karens that if they see a little tattoo on your face, oh, gangbanger, they're so dramatic.